So today we're breaking down the exact blueprint that we use to scale a high-ticket service business from zero all the way to $7 million in less than 12 months. It's the same blueprint we've refined with over 500 clients generating $100 million in the last 6 years. You'll see how it works, why it works, and how to install it into your business without burning your time, over hiring, or bloating your costs. So let's get right into it. Now the first step is always going to be about the offer. You can run the best ads, build the smoothest funnel, hire a world-class sales team, but if the offer isn't right, none of it scales. In this case, we built the offer around the founder's personal edge. And Joe was a former investment banker. He wasn't just good. He'd managed hundreds of millions of dollars in trading volume in a big bank. But the average prospect doesn't care about your resume. They care about what your experience means for them. So we asked one question: what part of your story proves you can solve their problems better than anyone else? Now that became the foundation of the offer. We reversed engineered it into a unique mechanism, a proprietary model based on Joe's risk management system that had been battle tested in high-stakes finance. We framed the entire solution around replicating that system for everyday traders who wanted to make consistent, risk-adjusted returns. And then we pressure tested it. Would this positioning survive in a competitive market? We launched test offers, surveyed out early leads, collected objections, and rebuilt the offer until every question was answered before the sales call even happened. But making it convert wasn't enough. It had to scale. I mean, we wanted to generate $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a month with this offer. So that meant removing Joe from the delivery so he wasn't the main bottleneck in the business. So that meant documenting his frameworks into repeatable SOPs and resources, hiring coaches trained in the methodology to deliver the core promise without Joe's involvement, and ultimately it resulted into Joe going from working 60 plus hours a week to just running weekly coaching calls for extra support and authority. We ended up making the offer scalable without watering it down or becoming a shit product. And more importantly, it was duplicable. And that's what allowed us to sell over 500 units at $5K a pop in under a year. Next, we built the acquisition system. The biggest myth is that you need like a huge budget to scale. You don't, but you need precision, especially in the first 60 days. Month one, we ran $4,800 in paid traffic and generated $48,000 in sales. But we didn't try to scale yet. That first month was about finding the winning angles, hooks, creative formats, as well as testing our setting and closing scripts. Now, we tested across 3 different buckets. We had story-based ads, leveraging Joe's banking background to position credibility. We had problem-aware ads showing traders why their current approach didn't work. And we also had outcome-focused ads, making the transformation feel real and attainable. Each bucket had about 3 to 5 variants, so across all our campaigns, we had about 10 to 15 ad creatives. And the metrics that we were looking at were obviously the click-through rates, the book calls, show-up rates, and then closing rates, obviously, once we started having calls through the calendar. Now, once we had our winning ads, sales scripts, and matching audiences, that's when we scaled from $4,800 to $15,000 in ad spend on the second and third month. And then we scaled to $20,000 on month 4, generating $200,000 to $250,000 every single month. The final outcome in 2024, it resulted in us generating a total of $2.45 million in 10 months with only $225,000 in ad spend. Now, this is a key rule that my team always follows, and is that we never ever scale ads until the funnel returns at least $10 for every dollar we spend. And if an ad can't do that, it doesn't scale. Now, most people are going to scale their ad spend when they're doing, let's say, a 3-to-1 return, and then they're going to end up burning money fast. And that's why as they grow their business, well, their profit margins are super damn low. Well, when we try to always maintain a 10-to-1 return, we're able to actually maintain 40% margins net profit, not gross profit, net on a $3 million a year business. The funnel was built for simplicity. We optimized the back end constantly, shortening the application, testing copy headlines, and even changing the video sales letter itself to see if it could convert even more. All that to improve conversion at each stage. Now that leads were flowing in, well, we needed a system to convert all those beautiful people. And this is where most businesses overcomplicate everything. We didn't build a 10-person team with like a bunch of sales reps left and right. We just had one setter and one closer. That's it. The setter would call, qualify, and book the leads into the closer's calendar. Now, if the lead didn't pick up on the first ring, then our setters would do what we call double dialing. Now, this has 2 purposes. The first one is if it rings on the first time and they don't answer, then they see the phone number again. Maybe they'll think it's an emergency. That increases the connection rate. The second reason is a lot of phones are a do not disturb. And if they're on do not disturb, the first time we ring, it goes straight to voicemail. So that way we avoided going to voicemail and we're actually able to reach that lead and speak to him. Now, if the lead wouldn't answer after double dialing, that's where we'd send obviously an SMS automation, email, and then we try to hit our leads 7 times within the first 2 days of them opting into the funnel. Meanwhile, the closer focused on only 2 things: closing the deal and nurturing the pipeline pipeline of prospects who didn't buy on the first call. Now, the reason why the closer only focuses on two simple things is because you don't want your sales reps to start focusing on a bunch of different things and then not knowing what is a priority, what isn't, and having too much context switching, and ultimately they do a bunch of different things and it's half-assed. We also built simple CRM automations to track each lead status and ensure that no one fell through the cracks. And with just 2 sales reps, we were able to collect between $200,000 and $250,000 a month consistently. And then when we scaled to $400,000 plus a month, that's when we added a second setter, a third setter, and then another closer. So we had 3 setters, 2 closers to handle $400,000 a month in volume. Now, it wasn't just about volume, because you could have a shit ton of leads come in, but if they're all garbage, then you're just wasting your time and working for nothing. It was about rhythm. A good setter knows how to warm up a lead, and a good closer knows how to turn that warmth into revenue. And after doing hundreds of sales calls, we finally fine-tuned the scripts and the frameworks so that all we had to do was do daily call reviews, KPI tracking, and coaching so that our reps could just perform even better. Now, here's one of the layers that is the most overlooked by so many businesses. Paid traffic gave us the engine, but to fuel long-term return on investment, we needed organic content to amplify everything. Here's how we did it. We looked at what objections our prospects had before buying. Will this work for me? Is this legit or another scam? What if I don't have time or any experience? What if I don't have the money? And then we built content to address each and every single one of these objections. Now, Joe didn't need to dance on TikTok or do some bullshit trend. We filmed once a month, batch a month's worth of content in a day, and ultimately, we would cover walkthroughs of how clients got results. We'd also do explanations of his proprietary methodology, strategic why this works breakdowns. We ran organic content as a nurture engine. We retargeted every lead from ads with value-driven content. We fed Instagram with a consistent stream of trust-building material. Every piece of content did one job: increase the perceived value of the offer before the sales call. And it worked. Once we hit ad fatigue, organic kicked in to keep returns high. Our cost of acquisition stayed consistent while ad costs were going up. And the greatest part of all that was also our sales cycles were shortened. Because people were getting nurtured so quickly by the organic content, it took less time to close a deal. And that's the actual leverage of content, not just to get views. At some point, growth stalled. We hit a ceiling hovering between 300 and 400K per month for almost 5 months straight. Now, most businesses would have panicked and defaulted to the most common path, which is increasing ad spend, crank up the acquisition, and ultimately they start nitpicking every single fucking part of the funnel. But all of those come with trade-offs: higher cost of acquisition, thinner margins, and ultimately more operational pressure. Now, instead of being impatient and panicking and doing a bunch of bullshit, we actually took a step back and asked a very simple question. How much is a client actually worth to us today, and how much could they be worth if we just help them one more time? Because here's what we found. Once a client purchased the core offer, $5,000 on the front end, they never bought anything again. And that was it. The journey ended, which is a problem when you're spending real money to acquire customers. I mean, we were spending $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month, and we were just hitting that plateau. And you simply can't afford to build a business that resets to zero every single month. So we started asking ourselves, what's easier, closing 60 new clients every single month, or selling to 60 existing clients who already trust us, got results, and are actively asking what's next? That's where we created 2 new $5,000 offers, strategically positioned as natural next steps, not random add-ons or cross-sells that don't make sense, or not shiny little things. We just looked at what's the next logical problem that our clients would face after completing the first offer, and then, well, we solved it. And turns out we were right. Within 30 days, our average lifetime value went from $5,000 to $10,000. And right now, those back-end offers consistently generate an additional $250,000 a month, which ultimately brought the business from $400,000 to now $700,000 and $800,000 every single month, without necessarily bringing the ad spend to 100 or 200K a month. So here's what we installed step by step: an offer built around a unique insight plus scalable delivery, paid acquisition, a lean sales team with clear roles and daily feedback loops, an organic layer to drive trust, nurture leads, and reduce CAC over time, and finally a back-end sales process to double the lifetime value and increase revenue and profits. And that's what allowed this business to go from a concept of near zero to $7 million in 12 months. And we've repeated this system across 500 100 plus businesses in all kinds of verticals. Construction and residential services, real estate and mortgage broker firms, legal businesses, B2B services, financial consulting, and even healthcare. And every time, the principles stay the same. It's just about a good, proven strategy and a great structure. We put the full system into a free playbook, over $100 million in collected revenue compressed into one resource. All you have to do is grab your copy below and follow to see more videos. See ya.